What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe with No Days Off DFS here to bring you another WNBA slate breakdown for the two-game slate we got today. Interesting slate, a not even a couple, a lot of injury news to go over, how it's going to affect and shake up lineups, the usage and changes and stuff that we're going to see out there. Can't wait to actually get into that. If you guys are new here and you're enjoying this content, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you do not miss these daily uploads and breakdowns. And don't forget to hit the like button. It lets me know that you guys are enjoying this content. If you want to see my cores, BK's cores, and all the other content that we're putting out, not only for the WNBA, but for our prop sites, Underdog, Prize Picks, Sports Battle, and you want to see esports, golf, all the things that we have to provide for you guys, make sure you guys check out the link for the Patreon. It's down in the description. $10, and I promise you make that back within your first week. Yesterday was not a bad slate, but it wasn't something to write home about. Broke even. Let me pull it up real quick. Looking at yesterday's slate, it was interesting to say the least, because the biggest thing that was up in the air was the fact of whether or not if that starting lineup for the Sky was going to come out. We were going to get that in time, and to be honest, it really didn't. They waited till like the last minute, and we finally were able to find out that Parks was going to start over Evans. But Evans, she still saw 27 minutes, still went out there. She produced. So if you had her, you still look pretty good in that. Granted, Parks being the value, that was, to me, kind of big, just for the fact of she paid off the value. She dropped 21 fantasy points, and I want to say she was priced at like 4.5, 4.6. So just getting her in for value from this game. And then if you ran it back with a Maria Marbury, who broke the slate, was just, she was high owned. I was on her, but wasn't as heavy on her as I should have been, which I should have seen that coming. And then just Dana Evans, just she literally paid off the value, sitting there at what, the 5K range, 5-6K range that she was at. Still dropped 30 plus fantasy points, so couldn't ask for too much from her. Then on the other side, honestly, Boston just, she did all right in regards to her scoring and everything. I was very heavy on Boston myself. Just didn't do it in the defensive side, and maybe if she would have got the double bonus or something like that, would have been great for her. But it was an all right mid-level game from her. Looking at the first game prior, if you double stack the bigs from the Sun, so you couldn't have went wrong if you had AT or if you went with Jones, just playing one or the other. But if you would have went ahead to stack both of them, you were pretty much cash money. They were the two of the best bigs on the slate, so it looked very well. And then running it back from the other side, if you knew that played Alicia Gray, which was in the prime spot, her and Howard was on both of them, but not too heavy. And then of course I had my share of Haley Jones. I did like her on the slate as well. Parker was decent. She honestly, to me, they toyed with her minutes a little bit too much. She definitely could have got going a bit more. This game did go to OT, but still, nonetheless, you had these two bigs. You were pretty much cash money. And if you ran Alicia Gray, and then the last game on the slate, I called it in regards to the fact I didn't expect the Storm to get blown out. They kept it within range until it got to that third quarter. That third quarter was where they just let go, and they faltered completely in that third quarter. Well, the third and the fourth quarter, they just completely faltered, just lost it all together, and just let Vegas go on a huge run. It was close for a majority of the game, but it put me on easy towards the end of the day, especially once that value at Parks opened up. I ended up being on easy, just looking at prior matches for prior centers going up against them. I know Asia Wilson, she's a pretty good defender and everything of the sort. We give her props. She gets those steals, she gets those blocks, but still, I feel like easy just from everything that she's been going out there and doing. She could go out there and have a decent game, and I wasn't too wrong. And then the value that I had on Ivana, great, that paid off. So if you played Ivana, Dorka, and ran out like Parks, and then you could play whatever you want. Play the two bigs from the Sun, ran something else back, maybe played easy in the end. Like you had a very good lineup, very good day. But like I said, went even. Nothing really great to write home about. No takedowns today, but hopefully we get one today. That's gonna be the game plan, trying to get back out there and bankroll management. That's the biggest thing. Bankroll management. Looking at the injury report that we got today, we got the Suns taking on the Washington Mystics. We have injury news for both teams. Brittany Griner, right now, it says game time decision. She's doubtful. She's out. She's not playing. She messed up her hip in the last game. So we should see Brianna Turner, who doesn't do anything besides rebound a little bit, maybe gets a blocker steal here, into the starting lineup. I feel like this is going to definitely boost Onion. This is going to boost Cunningham, and this is going to pretty much the whole starting lineup besides Turner. And then, of course, we're going to have Gustafson coming off the bench. So that's kind of the boost right there. If you feel like Diana Taurasi can get herself going, I know she's jacking up a bunch of shots. Offense is going to have to come from somewhere. You're not going to have that dominant big that you normally have. Maybe we can see a little something from DT here in this game, but it's still to be determined. Still trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to navigate this slate fully. And then over on the Washington side, Cloud was added to the injury report today. Typically, when a player is added to the injury report before a game or anything like that, normally they're not going to play. I'm going into this with the assumption that she's not going to play. That's how I'm going to view the slate, is that I don't expect Cloud to play. I'm going to pay attention to the news, but for right now, I'm going to game plan for no Cloud. That just seems to be, to me, the easiest and the best route to go when we're attacking this slate. Simply for the fact of she can go out there. It's an ankle injury. She tweaked it in the last game. She was able to, of course, lace it up tighter, come back out and play. But you already know, once you take off that shoe, your ankle's going to swell. You're going to have that pain. It might not, you're not going to have the explosiveness and those things that you need, basketball players need, run up and down the court. And a late injury tag, typically in the world of DFS, means you're not going to play. So that's the assumption I'm going to go with for Cloud for today. Going over to the last game, late game on the slate, we got the Lynx taking on the Sparks. And this one right here, Jessica Shepard, she's out. So more usage for Collier, who already has everything. Fee is gonna should be able to smash once again. They've already played the Sparks. I want to say that was their last game earlier in the week or Sunday. So another great spot. She's playing in LA, but Collier, just be some more assists for her, more rebounding, and just everything that she has. Clarington should move into the starting lineup, so not a bad move. Another value piece that we can look at. And then going over to the Sparks game. I really want the news for this. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't expect Chinny to play. Chinny has missed the past 4 games with this foot. It's a foot. There has not been no update in regards to the fact of she's getting better. Nothing. Teetering in regards to what's going on with her. So for right now, I'm going on the assumption that Chinny's going to miss. And then another one is Jasmine Thomas. Granted, she's not playing heavy minutes, maybe 10 to 12 minutes. She played 4 minutes in the last game. Not really too sure. Understand that. Of course, she's come back from injury. Maybe they're still limiting her. But that doesn't matter. We already know the Sparks, they're going to run out a pretty decent... Oh, last one, of course, is the biggest thing. Lexi Brown is out. Lexi Brown is going to miss today's game. So that's going to put Carly Samuelson into the starting lineup once again. I really do believe we're going to see the same kind of starters that we saw last time, except for Carly. She's laid in there. But still, Canada, Hamby, Nneka, Stevens, all 4 of them are great plays on this slate. Going up against a Lynx team who is poor on the defensive end, a young team. We already seen Nneka, honestly, probably, I don't normally go 100% on players, but Nneka probably going to be 100% in all of my lines that I play today. And I multi-enter a lot of stuff. So Nneka probably going to be 100% just for the fact of the floor is there for her. She is literally averaging 35 to 40 fantasy points as a floor. Very, very safe for a play. And then and Hamby's been like popping off left and right. I'm of course going to have some interest in Hamby here on the slate. And then if Stevens, I'm waiting for the breakout game. She's getting the minutes. And then just Canada, just looking at it, Canada, you got to consider Canada, just the usage and everything that she's playing. They already no Clariton's already out. Now you're adding Lexi's going to be out, so more assists for Canada, rebounding, the scoring, all that can be there for her. And it's a pretty cake matchup going up against Tiffany Mitchell and Kayla McBride defense. And once again, we already seen it earlier in the week, so we already know that this is not going to be bad. It's going to actually be kind of nice. Let me see if I can actually pull up some Vegas totals for us real quick. Pulling up the Vegas totals for this game right here. We got a 155 and then, of course, a 163 total. So, of course, we're going to be wanting to stack more of that later game, higher total. And honestly, it has more of the pieces that I definitely would be considering for lineups on tonight. Going over to DraftKings, the site that I play the most on. And if you guys would like to join me over here on the winning side, on the king side, check down the link in the description below for that deposit match bonus so you can come over here and win with me too on the DraftKings. And if you want to see my course, don't forget about the Patreon. It's down there too. Looking at it, of course, going game by game, I've really been enjoying doing this way, and I'm starting to get comments in regards to keep doing the game by game. So we already talked DT. If we're feeling like DT is going to be able to pop off, I know more usage, scoring, and everything is going to be coming to DT. The only thing that worries me, of course, just a little bit. She went out there, she was 0 of 6 last game, played 23 minutes, and Brittany Griner only played 9 minutes in that last game. She was only able to put up 7.5 fantasy points. Hopefully she can come back out here and bounce back from that. Looking at it over here on the Line Star, and keep in mind, Brittany Griner didn't play last year. She went out there, she dropped 36, 30, and 46 fantasy points in this spot going up against the Washington Mystics. Now, this is pretty much the same team that she's facing from last year. If Diana Taurasi could be efficient in regards to her scoring, we're not going to get one of these flopping 9 scoring nights, and she's pretty efficient from the field. At 8-8, I really don't mind that at all for DT, especially, the usage is going to be there. But we might want to look at some of the other players like Sophie Cunningham, who is going to get more shots, be able to jack up. Definitely, if they can get her going, besides Diana Taurasi, or if Diana Taurasi just doesn't have going at all, we know that Cunningham can definitely shoot it out. Last year, in her one game that she played against them, she dropped 25 fantasy points, and that was in 39 minutes. So that's a lot of minutes right there, too, and not really putting up too much of stats. But everybody's going to get a boost with Brittany Griner being out. It's kind of going to be a pick your poison. If I'm going to rank the Phoenix Mercury in regards to looking at their guards, which I'm actually supposed to be in the alt tab, if I'm looking at the guards for the Phoenix Mercury, I really do have some interest in Sugg, just because of what she's actually able to do in the minutes of production. She's doing it on the assist side, and she can rebound quite a bit. And of course, with no Brittany Griner, everyone's gonna have to step in rebounding. You're gonna be having Brianna Turner, which is literally her only job to do whenever she's out here on the court. Yeah, she's gonna rebound. She might be able to do a little something out there. But Cunningham, Suggs, DT, Onion, all of them are gonna have to step up and help out in regards to the rebound department and things like that. One of the other things I do kind of want to point out to you guys is that Cunningham, they got her listed as point guard, shooting guard. She's actually a forward. She's not a point guard or a shooting guard. She does not play the two. So if there's ever any confusion in regards to that, she is actually a small forward. I really don't understand sometimes why some of these sites have players put in the wrong spot, but she is a small forward. So Cunningham, I don't hate her in the spot, but I would go with Sugg, just because she's stuffing the stat sheet all over. Cash game safe for me. Diana Taurasi would be more of a GPP. Cunningham, she's teetering that line. She's the fine line between cash and GPP. I'm gonna lean a little bit more towards the cash side, just because I know that she can actually do some stuff in the other parts. But if she goes ahead and she pops off in one of these games, she's gonna break a slate, just because I know she's a firecracker when it comes to it. Shea Petty was back that last game. She played about 16 minutes. Didn't look bad out there. Of course, she's getting the assist. Playmaking is kind of what Petty will go out there and do. She can score if she got to score. 6'8". I would love to see her get more minutes, which hasn't happened yet. Of course, we know she's come back from that injury. So I'm not really going to go there at 6'8". I think we might be able to find some other things, other value on the slate with other players being out. And then Mariah Jefferson, you got to keep in mind that she's also back too. Played 18 minutes last game, but only 3.5 fantasy points. Nothing to write home about. If you want to take a chance on Mariah Jefferson, if she's not in the starting lineup, I'm not worried about her or Petty if they're not in the starting lineup. I don't feel like the value is going to necessarily be there. You're not going to be able to do enough in the minutes that you're going to get. I would expect the starters to get rolled quite a bit, unless this game blows out. Vegas has this as 11-point spread. Vegas normally is never wrong in regards to these things. Seen last night, I said that the Storm were going to keep it close, but Vegas still prevailed as they always do. So just depends on what we're thinking in regards to this right here. But Amari Jefferson, I wouldn't touch that. Petty, 6'8", she's just not getting enough minutes to really pay off that value to me. 24 fantasy points last time out, but that was with Diana Taurasi not playing her normal run, and also not getting anything in regards to stats coming out there. Over on the forward side, for the Mystics, looking at it, Brittany Griner, she's out. Onion, I will have a lot of interest. If you're gonna tell me she's gonna get at least I'd say she should get about 30-ish minutes. She's gonna play that power forward, small forward, rotating between that, where her and Cunningham might be able to play some center going out there against Austin. She has pretty much a ceiling of 30-ish plus. Her floor, I'd say her floor is probably about 20 to 25. I don't hate that at 6K. Definitely would rather pay for her than paying for Petty. If I'm gonna pay, I know they're two different positions, but still definitely something to keep in mind. Brianna Turner, if you want to risk your money on this, go ahead and play Brianna Turner. But understand, this girl has shot 0 of 0 in the past 2 games. She dropped 18.5 fantasy points. Yes, that was due to the fact that she got 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block. Please, I personally wouldn't play her. That's just my 2 cents. She just doesn't do anything for me out there whenever she's out there on the court. Her stats are just like nothing. But we have seen centers have been able to do pretty decent going up against the Washington Mystics. So you definitely can take a chance on Brianna Turner if you want to. It's not going to be the easiest thing to put into your lineup. I'm going to be honest. I would be as I'm trying to put that in. And then you got to keep in mind, Megan, she's going to get some minutes and burn as well. Don't hate her as a GPP flyer, but not someone that I'm running and flocking to if I'm going there. Looking over at the Washington Mystics side, Elaine Deladon, prime spot, smash spot. Just go ahead, cash game lock. I definitely will be going ahead and playing her today. Shakira Austin, bounce back spot for her as well. Not going to have to worry about Brittany Griner. Can definitely go out here and drop buckets on buckets on buckets if she wants to, if she's feeling it. And in rhythm and emotion, they should definitely want to wash the taste out their mouth from that last game that they had. Looked putrid and horrible last time out there playing against the Indiana Fever. They should be ashamed of themselves how they played against the Fever. They got exposed against the Fever, man. Exposed against the Fever. Ridiculous. But bouncing back, looking at it last season, she dropped one game where she dropped 41 fantasy points. Has a very good matchup. Definitely will be considering her today in my lines. And then, of course, we know, yes, they're only allowing 25 fantasy points per game to centers, but this right here is including the fact of if Brittany Griner was playing. Now, if we look at last season in this matchup, she had 21 in 32 minutes and 34 in 26 minutes fantasy points. Definitely something to consider if you are looking at playing Austin, if you want to come down off of Elaine Deladon. But I'd still say EDD, definitely a good play, smash spot to me, in my opinion, in regards to a play for today. Going back. Misha Hines-Allen, she's getting a little bit of burn minutes and whatnot, but nothing to write home about. Still only 11 minutes, so pick your poison on that one. And then Meg Ling, she's supposed to be leaving soon to go play over in the Asian Cup. She got 18 minutes last game and seen double-digit minutes in the past couple of games. Expecting the blowout, you're thinking that maybe the bench might get some more run. She's been pretty productive in the minutes that she's getting. I don't hate going here to her, but I really kind of just wonder how many minutes and how much burn she's going to get, considering that she's leaving soon. And then Tina Hawkins. Tina Hawkins is going to be Tina Hawkins, man. Unless Elaine Deladon or someone else is out, I'm not really worried too much about playing her, but she's there. Like I said, now, with Cloud being out, that means that we're going to see Sykes probably play more of a point guard role, or they might move Walker into the starting lineup, something like that of that nature. Walker, if she's getting the minutes, she can definitely produce for us out there. Looking at last season, let's find Walker. Walker, last season, going up against the Phoenix Mercury, and 21 minutes dropped 20 fantasy points, 20 minutes dropped 17, 16 minutes dropped 12. So, I mean, she's able to go out there and produce. If we think that the game might still be a blowout, even if Cloud is not going to play, Walker might be someone that we should consider in this game right here. She should definitely see upwards of 20, let's give her 25, 30 minutes. So she should definitely be able to go out there and produce, definitely, hopefully do a hell of a lot better on the assist end if she's not going to be out there scoring or anything like that. Now, with Cloud being out, I would hope that Sykes would step up in that role, but I've never been able to peg Sykes correctly in regards to when she's going to pop, when is she a good play. I'm not too sure. Definitely would not say that she's not playable. If Cloud is out, she is definitely in play. Same thing for Atkins. All of these starters are going to definitely get a boost. I don't see Tolliver getting the start, even though she is a veteran point guard in this league. I don't see them going to Tolliver. They've been limiting her minutes anyway throughout the season. Now, if she does get the start, she's someone that knows this offense. She knows what she's doing out there. She's a player's coach, technically. She is a coach. So I would consider Tolliver, but out of the two, just because I'm biased on Sykes, I will say Atkins would be my cash play. Sykes would be GPP. And then I will have a lot of interest in Walker if she is starting. That 3-7 value will literally let you get whatever you want on the slate to be able to play whoever you want, wherever. Going over to the last game on the slate, we got the Minnesota Lynx taking on the Sparks. From the guard position, Kayla McBride definitely in play. She's been popping off over the last couple games, averaging double-digit scoring throughout them. We just seen her play the Sparks. She got 25.25 fantasy points in 32 minutes. No Shepherd out there. More assist playmaking will be duties for her. So definitely can see these assist numbers rise up. That 25.25 fantasy points, I think she could definitely do that again and a little bit more. Tiffany Mitchell, same boat for her. With the player being out in the starting lineup, you already know that the starter is going to get a boost. Dropped 27 fantasy points in this spot last time in 26 minutes. So a fantasy point per minute definitely will be in play. If you want to mess around with it, you can go cash games for Tiffany Mitchell. You don't know which Kayla McBride you're going to get. If she's going to knock down a shot, you can play her in GPPs. Diamond Miller is still going to be out. Banham really is riding the bench. Lindsay Allen, same thing, riding the bench. Really not getting too many minutes and not really doing anything with the minutes that she's getting. So, yeah, not too much to write home about on that one. Over on the forward side, we already know Collier in play. She might honestly be one of the higher owned players. Her and NECA will probably be 1A, 1B in regards to ownership on today's slate. And there's no reason not to. We've seen what she just did in this matchup going up against them. I don't think that they're going to be able to stop her anymore. You're getting Wnba defense, and you might be getting Azura Stevens defense, which is Azura. She can just go ahead and get herself into foul trouble. Yeah, she can go out there and block a couple shots and do things like that, but she can still get scored on, and just the usage that she has, and she's not doing it all just from scoring. She's rebounding, she's getting assists, she's getting steals, blocks, she's doing all these things out here. On top of that, even if she starts slow, she picks it up in the second half of games, and we've seen it time in and time out. She didn't start off hot in this game where she ended up dropping 50.25 fantasy points. I want to say going into the half, she might have had maybe barely 20. It might have been 20 or lower in regards to it. And then second half, she exploded. So definitely something to consider right there whenever you're looking at it. And just back-to-back 50-plus fantasy point games, I definitely do like that. Dorka, with no Shepard being out there, more rebounds and things for her. Her minutes, for some reason, have declined down quite a little bit. We've seen last time going up against the Spark, she only played 22 minutes, dropped 12.5 fantasy points. Hopefully she can bring that up. I will consider her, but not going to be someone that I'm running and flocking to. And then, of course, Clarington. Looking at her, she's going to get the start, more than likely. Sitting here at 4-2, definitely someone that we got to go ahead and consider. 17 minutes and dropped 13 fantasy points. 9 points, 2 rebounds. Maybe she could do a little bit more with a starter type minutes, load, and run. Let's see if we don't have a game from her last season. Looks like Line Star. Okay, there it goes. She played nope, that was earlier. 12 minutes, she dropped 3. 21 minutes, dropped 17. 13 minutes, dropped 14. So I really would like to see what she's done whenever she's like gotten major minutes, like some decent burn. 21 minutes, she dropped 20 fantasy points, right? Stop it, Line Star. All right, well, we'll figure it out. But definitely something to consider at 4-2. Value on the slate. You can't go wrong there with that. Going over to the Spark side, like I already said, NECA, lock play. Chenny, I expect her to be out, so of course we're going to still see Wnba, and we're going to see Stevens. Both of these players are in play. Of course, Wnba has been on a roll over the last couple games, dropping 40 fantasy points in her last game, 23 points, 2 steals, 8 assists, 8 rebounds. Has looked very good back from injury, playing high 30 minutes. Definitely will be going to her again, especially if Chenny is out. Even if Chenny is back, I don't expect her to start. I don't think you're going to mess with that starting lineup or that rotation right there, because Wnba is in a groove and going pretty good. I would expect Stevens still. Stevens, she played 28 minutes, the most minutes that she's played all season so far. Looked very good out there in those minutes. Yes, she only dropped 13.5 fantasy points, but that was also due she went 3 of 7, didn't really get any rebounds. Wnba and NECA was snatching all that down left and right. But her big game is going to come. Sitting at 5'8", you cannot go wrong with that as well right there. Definitely a play that we have to consider all of the players for the Sparks, because they are shorthanded. So it doesn't matter how a player performed in regards to that. If it's a good matchup, it's a good matchup. All of the players for the Sparks are in play. They are shorthanded. It's going to be a tight rotation. We got to consider them all. Going over here, Canada, I already said, if I got to play, I'm playing Canada. Looking at her, man, she come out here. Against Minnesota, she dropped 41 fantasy points. Highest fantasy point total that she's done for the season. 18 points, 8 assists, 4 rebounds, 3 steals. I'm not expecting that big of a game again, but I feel like she has a safe for about 30-ish fantasy points. Definitely will go right back to her. We know that they're out. Carly Samuelson, value on the slate. She's going to be able to get that start. Granted, she has not popped off. Outside of her 27.25 fantasy point game going up against the Aces, nice spot for her to go ahead and do that. Definitely someone that we can consider for value. And then if for some reason they start Zaya, I will have to consider her just because she's literally 4-3, cheap. You're going to have to just put into the consideration. She's popped off in that first game when she got 15 minutes, 23 minutes. She only dropped 12.75. So definitely someone that we can consider, put into consideration for the slate, just for the value of whatnot. But we got to pick and choose what value is going to be the correct value that we want to go with today. What value is the good value that we're wanting to roll out here. And, we can't play everybody. That's going to be the biggest thing. We can't play them all. So just looking at it, it's an interesting slate that we have to navigate through the injuries and, of course, get that starting news. Those are going to be some big things right there. But if you're on my core and you want to see what exactly I'm going to be on and what I'm playing, or BK's core, our player pools, and everything of the sort, check the link in the description below for the Patreon, so way you guys can have that too. It's your boy Zoe. This is my breakdown. I will see you guys tomorrow for the 1 game slate, and I hope to see you all in the green.